How are you? Welcome to Every Rock Has a Story. I was just doing some coloring. Got some colored pink chalk and some green chalk, and I drew a green volcano, and I used my red chalk to make the red lava coming out the top. Sometimes if I can't go collect on my own rocks, I just like to draw pictures. It's fun to have colors to draw pictures with. Now, a little while ago, we talked about my real chalk rock. And it's true that we use real chalk rock to make white chalk. But have you ever wondered, where do the colors that come from, the red, the purple, or the green, where do the colors that come from to make our other colors of chalk or paint? Well, the rock that I have to show you today tells that story. This rock is so beautifully colorful that I have to keep it in a box. It's this one right here. Let me bring it up close and I'll show you what this one looks like. This one is brilliant orange red. In fact, it's super crumbly. Look at that. Very, very kind of powdery, dusty red. And look what has happened to my fingers. Look at that. All that red orange. It's all staining my fingers now. This is a really interesting rock. And I'm going to put it right here because it is so crumbly. Oh my goodness. I collected this myself in a town in France called Roussillon. And Roussillon is built on a hilltop made out of this stuff. And this stuff is really cool because it's one of the best colors of paint, or what we call a pigment, that we know of. In fact, it was one of the earliest paint color pigments that humans probably ever found, and it's not surprising. I'll tell you the name of this, and I'll tell you by writing it on my board. This is going to be messy, but this rock is called oh my goodness, it spilled all over my pants. And I even left out H. Oh my goodness. I wish you could see my pants. You can see it. They've all been colored red. Oh no. This rock is called ochre. O-C-H-R-E. Ochre. I'll put that up here as a reminder. But oh my goodness, my pants are all red. Let me find my sign here. Ochre is what I was trying to write. Ochre, this incredibly colorful rock, all staining my fingertips, so red and crumbly. Ochre was one of the first paints ever discovered and ever used by people. I went there with my family. And I actually collected my sample in the parking lot, but you can go for a hike through the ochre cliffs. And this is what it looks like. Look at those huge cliffs, all of bright red and orange and yellow. There up close, you can see that's a person walking along right there. Look at my fingers. There you can see at the top, the red at the top, yellow at the bottom, and you can see it's layered. There are stripes or layers there. But very dusty. You can tell where you're walking, it's dusty. There are my kids walking on the dusty path. We walked by great spires of the bright red and orange rock. And it was so dusty when we were done, we had to wash off our feet. Everybody's feet got all wet. It's not all wet, sorry. They got all red, just like my pants turned red. Oh my goodness. Well, ochre was discovered by some of the earliest people in Europe, in France, and they started to realize that that beautiful red, orange, yellow colors could be used as paint. In fact, that early paint was probably used in some of the very first artwork ever done by people. Have you ever seen cave paintings like this? This is from a famous cave in France. And this cave painting probably included red ochre from maybe someplace like Roussillon, where I collected my little chunk of red ochre. Now, the story of ochre and how it came to be so powdery and fine and so red, we have to go back 100 million years when the seas flooded over most of France. In southern France, and those shallow seas were filling up with clay. Clay is fine-grained little mineral particles that drain and weather off of the land and settle slowly down into the shallow seas. And then more recently, that clay was lifted up. So it was exposed on the land to the air. And what do we know is in the air? Lots of oxygen. And the oxygen combined with that clay might have started green in color. But when it saw the sky, when it saw the oxygen in a little bit of water in the new rain, it turned red. It turned into ochre. So this ochre is a red clay rich with iron, oxygen, and a little bit of water, which is what gives it that beautiful rusty red, orange, yellow color. 100 million year old seas created that ochre for people to make some of these famous cave paintings in France 17,000 years ago. And for me to get it all over my fingers today for you. So this rock is the story of art. It's the story of painting. Like the drawing I did of my volcano, and when I tried to spell the word ochre with that crumbly ochre. It's the story of those cave paintings. And it's also the story of the rising seas which covered most of France 100 million years ago. During the time of the dinosaurs in the Cretaceous, the seas were very high, and they left their stories and their records across many of the continents, like Europe, North America. Seas rise and fall. And this story tells the story. This rock tells the story of one of the highest times of the seas ever in history. I hope you enjoyed this story of ochre. Ochre. Ochre for my smudgy fingerprints. See you next time. Bye-bye.